Sorry, I'm gonna do that. 8-hour chart. This seems to be the same area. Looks like it's. Let's go to a 6. Well, that's a lot better. One candle there. This is what I was looking for. Just gives me just a better idea of this move right here. So let me draw this out. And then what I'll do is I'll basically at the bottom there, yeah. Put that out in the time so I can get a number on it. So 45.3275. It's quite high. Really up there. Market opens here in about 2 minutes. So let me go back to don't have it on this chart. I'm trading the micros with this 25 account. So let me go to 4509. I'll put this area on the chart for myself. And we're going to call that buy side. And I want to make sure I got it right. There we go. And then 45.32 is the other one. And I'm going to make it red. That is not 45.32, by the way. And then I'm going to put 0.5 because it's the mean threshold of that area that I was looking at. All right. And then I got to put the coordinates right. $32. There we go. So those are two good areas that we're probably going to be really looking into. Let's go back to the 15-minute chart. Market opens in about a minute. If for some reason we fail from taking out these highs right here, then we will definitely look for a short and start hitting these areas for targets. The daily price line would be a target. This green line right here is the daily price line. I use it. It shows me when the market opened up on 6 p.m. the previous night. So for the whole day of Friday, this is where it opened up. As you can see, we had a gap up right there, and then we immediately fell down. So it's Friday of a big news week with not a lot of news left. I think we have consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. Eastern time. So that's going to be in about 30 minutes. Now that market is open, let's drop down to the lower time frames. Here we go, getting a good little sell off here. We'll be patient. It's the NQ. It looks like we're going to break down below here. What's the NQ doing in relation? Yeah, we're starting to break down there too. I really like the NQ. It's been giving us some better setups. I just don't trade it that often. And I'm trading micros right now, so I'd rather be trading the micro. We've got a mean threshold right in here that we could possibly be looking into trade. if it holds below it short. But again, doesn't really know what it wants to do right now. The NQ is failing. Continues to kind of drop below that low. Looks like it's going to make its way back down here to the daily price line. Yeah, see, we failed that. I like it short. You trading this TradeAway account? Get up, yeah. Trade 5 contracts on it. Gives me my 0.5% risk. I like it short if it gets back up in here a little bit. See it giving some of this back. Almost had the buy on it. We've just been crushing higher. Thinking of a short play right here is just it's kind of a little scary. The dollar has been basically sideways. I think I might give it a little more time. Let's see. Let's see where my moving averages are. We came up and we've taken this top side here, and now we're down here at the bottom. Let's see. I don't want to get caught in a range. You know, a opening range, ranging market where it just kind of takes highs and lows the whole time, and then be selling at the bottom of these ranges. I don't want to do that. Yep. Looks like we're just trickling back down. It's not really any kind of push through though. Nothing really forceful. Starting to get a little bit of that displacement that I was kind of wanting. So a good sale trade right in here. Probably put my stop above this. Yeah, NQ's falling too. Dow kind of holding just now, breaking below that. There's that drop on the Dow too. Yeah. Nothing ever can really be textbook, right? And as bullish as this market has been, it's almost tough to just jump in on a short, going in the opposite direction of this huge trend that's been happening now for days. Well, and again, we do have news that's happening at 10. Mm. Apologize for that. Finally made it all the way back down to the daily price line. Might be a decent bounce. Maybe we get some kind of movement and a continuation back to the highs. Dollar looks like it's bouncing off its daily and pushing. And again, it's almost like the ES has been in tandem with the dollar for a pretty good while, which is slightly confusing. But so you can't really go off of that as an indicator. Yeah, I do like this area. If it holds, I need a good candle. A nice little push here. Good push here out of the ES. I'm sorry, out of the NQ. See if we get a little pullback right in here. I'm going to go ahead and jump in here just to go ahead and get started. And my target's really going to be this mean threshold. Ooh, I got it in as a limit. Let me exit out of that. So let's hold up. Let's watch this line some more. Maybe that was blessing in disguise. Wait till the end of this candle right here. We are 5 minutes away from news. Might hang out just a little bit longer. Is this could easily come back down, grab a little bit more of that liquidity, get below some of the lows to the left there, and then make its way back up. And then this just be just a stop for me. So I'm not going to do that. Let's wait for news. And I'm going to step away to make sure that I stay away from it until the news comes out. All right, so the ES made a lower low in a really good pattern right here. I like how it dipped down below it and we're starting to push. But we do have news, but I do love this. So my idea for the NQ is that it pops back up above here and then keeps going. That's what I would love. I'm not trading the NQ, but this is what I'd be looking for to happen. So something a little more here. Something that I would be looking for on the NQ. Really, really like that pattern. Not to say it's not going to keep selling off. It could just keep selling off. But if the if the NQ does that, then the ES might follow through as well. We're just right here a minute and a half before news, and I don't want to get into a buy. And then for some reason, these numbers wick out down here, make a new low, and then continue higher. I just don't want to do that. So I'm just going to be patient enough and hang out. This is the hardest thing in trading. You know, it's one of those things like it's such a fast, it's such a fast um entry, you know, right? You got to almost be exact in how you are entering that trade, and you don't want to be late on the trade because you're giving up points. You don't want to be too early on the trade because the market's going to pull back. So the exact entry that you need is kind of a quick moment, and you know, hard to decide when is the right moment. So I no, I haven't taken a trade in the first 2 days of this count on the live stream, and I think that a little bit of a pressure trying to take that trade. You know, I really do want to take a trade, just to kind of get it done and started. But at the same time, you know, It's also like I don't want to just be trading to be trading. So 10 seconds for news. Numbers. Look at that. Boy, a buy would have been perfect. So didn't get the sell off. Let's see if we can't enter into this trade without jumping in too high on it. So the numbers actually come out pretty decent for the dollar, but dollar didn't like it initially. Again, that's the type of move that you would kind of want to see. We got that push up. See if we come back down. And I may use the NQ as a trade onto the micros because look, this is that consolidation that I like. And then we dip down, crushing stops right through here. And then now we started to push back up, breaking above. We're getting the pullback, and now we should see a continuation. Let's see what it's doing on the ES or the micros, which is what I trade on. A little bit further of a pullback, but that's okay. Uh, yep. My stop would be right here. Just because the movement of this is going to be 5 or 6 points. So I would put my stop at the most down in here. At the closest, it would be around 72. Yeah, 3-minute chart looks good as well. I am going to go ahead and jump in now. That's a good stop for me. So let's see. We'll get a continuation on it. So we're down right now. Like it might continue to the downside. Just hang on. I'd like to see 84 could possibly be a nice little. Let me change this to 3. And I'm going to 84 is going to be where I take 3 off. Sell 3 at 84. Here comes that move. You see a nice continuation pop through here, and I'm going to take it off right here at this mean threshold. Not quite the highs or whatever. I'll take the rest of it off right here at this mean threshold. Oh, good move. Good move through right here. I'd like to take my partial before I move my stop. I have been known to move my stop before then, but I would like to take my partial before I move that stop. It's a really big pullback right there on that 1 minute candle. And as you saw, that was a 5-point push right there. So it was $100 right there. Let's see if we get that continuation now. It's a pretty good pullback into there. Jump out on the 5 minutes. Kind of keep an eye on, see what the larger time frames are doing, or higher than what I'm trading on looks like. 3 minutes still looks okay. Could get, a decent little pullback here. 15-minute chart. We've come back into this area. My partial is definitely inside that mean threshold of this right here. So NQ, is there a continuation on the NQ? No, there is not. Wow, the NQ is not continuing. Let's go in on the NQ. 5, 3. Yeah, we're just straight sideways. So might have to start managing this trade a little bit better. All right, I kind of like, we did get another pop up. Wick heavy. Let's go back to the 1 minute chart. I mean, we do have structure here, and that's what's kind of holding us up right in here. I've got the mean threshold put out right there. Let's see if it's really what's got us. It's pretty spot on. We can get above that mean threshold, we'll be pretty solid. Not a good move here. This could easily continue to dump. So I'm going to manage this out. We get back up in here, probably going to take it off and let's see if we can get a move back up. Let's go ahead and take it right there. I'll wait for a better entry. And if it takes off from that point, that's fine. I ended up basically saving commissions. That's okay. I just didn't like the way it was looking right in here. We've got, if you look right here, you've got a decent little straight line forming as well. And the reason I draw these lines on the chart, these trend lines, for a couple of reasons. I go with bodies more than I do wicks. And the reason I do these things, do the lines like this is because below these lines is liquidity. And I want to be on the right side of liquidity. And if I'm in a trade that pushes here, at one point we were up $100. That was 5 points. Could have easily taken it off right there, but my target was a little bit higher. I wanted to see it up in here at 7 points. And now that we're kind of pulling back, I want to wait and see what the market's going to do at this point, because my original setup for this push, I needed all of that momentum to continue. And the fact that it didn't, it makes me hesitate right in this area. So we could still be bearish on this. Let's look at the NQ. NQ has pulled back, starting to push now. Yeah. Dow just kind of hanging out. And see, we're just not getting any kind of continuation. So being up here, what I'd like to see now is I'd like to see a dip into this liquidity, if not a little bit lower on the daily, and then another setup to go long that looked very similar to what we just got in. So I'm out without a loss there. Actually, got a little bit of a win. So if we continue above this, we'll leave that behind, then for sure we could probably think about getting into another long trade for the highs. So it looks like we're just going to trickle and grind. The dollar, this is a really good push for the dollar. And if for some reason the dollar and the ES, which usually do not trade in tandem with one another, they're correlated opposites. Usually when the dollar is going down, the ES is going up, or when the dollar is going up, the ES is going down. The fact that they're moving in the same direction right now is a little bit it makes me not like the position. So here we are moving back up again. We would be back up at this 5-point level. So pulled back down into that fair value gap right there on the 3-minute chart, and then bounced right there on that wick. I mean, this trend line is not situated anywhere it should be, but so yeah, we ended up getting the continuation that I was looking for earlier. NQ trying to do the same. The 5-minute chart. Right inside this fair value gap here. So if we decide, if the market decides to continue through that fair value gap, you could actually re-enter on it. That's what I'm talking about right there. Right now we're right in the center of it. Looks like we're not going to respect it. So this would be something that I would look into trying to get in on and maybe take it long to the highs. So we got out about right there. We were in at 77. I got out at 77.50. It did dump back down to about 75.50. My stop was down here. Never would have hit my stop. Probably could have been a little more patient. So it happens. And we would have still not gotten to my 84 level yet for my partial. Let's see this pullback right here. Let's see if we can't find some ground to enter on. Pretty solid pullback. Change my contracts again. Get my stops and my profit in there. Because with TradeAvate on TradingView, if you just come up here and hit these buttons, you have to manually put in your stops. And I don't like doing that. I'd rather just go ahead and click these buttons and then wait and then just go ahead and manually just have it ready to go. So we're breaking down into that liquidity. Let's look at it on a higher time frame. Let's see, what are the moving averages telling us? Yeah, it looks like we're leveling off a little bit. What's the NQ doing? Basically the same thing. It's allowing for an entry right here on the NQ. I really like the NQ a lot more than I like the ES. Like I'm buying right here with a stop down here in the 50s, 20-point stop. I just don't trade the ES enough to really get involved. The daily price line seems to be kind of trying to hold it up, but as I say that, we're breaking down through it. Oh, yeah, this is a good sell off. One that would have really been frustrating because look how close that came. Is it one almost a tick away? The high on that candle is 50, so 2 ticks away from that partial of mine. I do want to get back in and buy, but I'm just not. It hasn't given me a reason to just yet. 2-minute chart. Holding right there. Five-minute chart getting in that fair value gap, and now we're selling off. We got a lot to give back. It is Friday, and we have created this large move. We've taken out these highs here. Got a decent little straight line right there. See us coming back in maybe this 21 EMA right here on the hourly. 65.50. Losing 10 more points right there. Possibility. Structure right here seems to be holding it up as well. I like that. This structure right there. Like that. So that would be almost grounds for me to take a long again. See how we're kind of holding right there. So maybe a long with a stop down below here. Let's get it a little bit lower. We're at 78.25. Right on it. Let's go ahead and take it. And there's my stop. I talked about how much it was going to go short and all that kind of stuff. And then I ended up taking a long trade. So it actually is still respecting this mean threshold pretty solidly. Let's see if we get a push and a break above. I think I would still like to take partials at 84. We can get it at 84. I might just mark it out of that partial. But look, see how we're respecting that. And that's the issue right now. Just this level right here. It's not necessarily, I mean, you know, ICT concepts is the mean threshold. That's the reason why price is just kind of hanging out and not wanting to get above it. We've got structure here, and this is the midway point of it. That structure, if you move further out to the left, you're going to see that structure being hit even further right over in here. So I like, you know, support and resistance, supply and demand, however you want to trade it. See if we can't get this push above here. If not, then I might just go ahead and cut this trade as well. We're down on the day right now. Dollar seems to be pushing even higher. This was a good move for the dollar, which is usually not good for the ES. Our moving averages are bullish, but they seem to be crossing right now. So this would be a reversal and coming down for further prices. What's the NQ doing? Basically the same thing. Holding out right here on the daily price line. Just sideways action, man. The news didn't really do much for anything. And this action right here is just no good. We're down some more now, down $50. This would be $100 loss. See if it holds that structure. That's what it was respecting earlier. I'm gonna take the moving averages off. Yeah. It's coming down for lower lows. See if we get a pullback. Maybe I can manage out of this for a less of a loss. Doesn't look like it though. I'm not gonna pull my loss down, my stop loss down, and I'm not going to average down. I'm not gonna add to it. I'm not gonna add to it down here. If it continues to start popping like I want it to, if it holds this structure, then I may add to it up here before we get up there, or take my partial, and if it comes on back on a pullback, add, and then whatever. And there's different ways you can manage it. But you can see we're still holding that structure right now, so it's kind of giving me a little bit of hope. It's a nice little move. A little bit of hope. Maybe we'll get this dollar pullback since it's right up here at these relative equal highs. And maybe then we'll get back where it's supposed to be. Yeah, look at that. We're actually up in the green. Really needed to get through this structure. So would like to see a nice green candle continuation up into here. There we go. That's nice. Not managing out of it just yet. Because, I mean, took it here and it ended up going almost to my partial. I still think overall, I think we're bullish and we're going to cover some more of this. So And by bullish, I mean in the moment right now, bullish, not maybe not all day bullish or anything like that, but just right now. Uh, I think that this is a good trade. There we go. We'll get that off. Get close to 84, I'll take 3 off. It's one of those moments too where you're looking at this trade and you're like, oh, if I could have just gotten in down here, right? Then this would have been already at 100 or whatnot. But I really think we get through this area right here, we'll continue as well. We do have structure here that we're bouncing off of at 82. Again, at 82. What's the NQ doing? NQ looking like it's going to push. Just sitting in the same place. But, again, this is a very nice move. I like that move. Dow. Yeah. It all seems to be just struggling right around this same area. So let's look at my trade that we're in right now. There we go. All right, we're going to take 3 off at around 83 and a half, 84. We can get it to move another point for us. Why am I trading the micros? I did not trade the micros during the evaluation process. I traded the ES, basically utilizing all of the same strategies that I'm utilizing right now. However, with this, it's mainly, I want to use it as a cash flow opportunity with this funded account. So just getting the account to where I can draw money from it and continue to draw money from it is really the process. It doesn't matter if I get there this week, next week, next month. It's, this is a longer term thing that I'm willing to be patient with it. I'm not trying to make those quick 2,000 gains or whatever. Maybe in time, if the account builds itself up to, we bumped our head at 82.50 and we're selling off here. The goal with the account is to just continue to have good cash flow. And I don't have to make $1,000 a day right now to do that. So let's build the account up, get well away from whatever threshold I need to get away from, and then consider moving into the ES. So it's just not really wanting to get back up there. Why did it stop again? We got right in here. Let's look at the 8-minute. 8-minute chart. You're gonna have a 10-minute chart. It's gonna be, look at that. So I play around with the different time frames, and because the different time frames give you different stories to the greater overall picture. So now, I've got this mean threshold in which is holding us down over the last 30 minutes. Let's break through that, and then we could probably see these highs. And that mean threshold is sitting at 481. So, which is also right here at this fair value gap in which it is respecting. So a lot of that is telling me go ahead and sell out of that trade. Or at least, break even the trade. But I kind of just want to give it a little bit of room to play. Because it's not about how much money you're making, it's about how little you lose. And because there's going to be losses. So So I see this on the 10-minute, and then I also see, and I like to trade order blocks, this mean threshold as well. So 87.50 is also another one. So if we get through this one, then this one might be the next place in which we could stop. So if for some reason we start pushing through here, maybe I hold my um, partial until 87.50. I don't mind my stop where it's at. So see, we just can't push it. This candle is about to be over. Got a minute and a half on this 10-minute chart. So as you can see, the 10-minute chart is pretty clean. And it gives you some good setups, even on the 10-minute chart. You just got to be a little more patient with it. I jump around the different charts just to kind of get another, just to read a different part of the story. These are, to me, these are like, chapters in a story. Each chapter is telling me a different part of the story. So this is a good little push here in the last little bit of this candle. I'd like to see this break above here. Again, we're getting right to that 83 area, just kind of holding out. There we go. There we go. Let's go ahead and take 3 off. And I'm going to move my stop just above break even. And then I've got to modify this. You see, it's still 5. I'm only got 2 contracts in there. So I need to go ahead and modify this down to 2. Pop, modify. And it does it both. So, and I'm not going to move my stop all the way up here or whatnot. I really feel like this is the area in which I might take another one off. Let me drop this to 1. So if we get up to 87.50, I'll go ahead and take another one off at 87.50. What's really crazy is the original trade that I took would have never hit my stop, and this would have been all profit from the 77 area. So if we get up to 77.50 here, I'm going to take another contract off, probably move my stop up just a little bit further, and hold out for, wherever. I might hold out for new highs. So 94 be the total. But we got to get above this mean threshold here. A 15-minute chart. And honestly, if you look at this 15-minute chart, you can drop this down and look where it paused at, right? So again, telling me a different story here, that this could be the area in which it actually stops at. So 86 could have been. And again, it's all, you can go to any chart and figure out a way to sell or buy or whatever. It's the reason why you can make money in the market on both sides. If somebody is making money going long, then somebody can also make money going short, a little bit after that. You can make money in the market going both ways in any kind of trending market, any trending market. You look at this sell trade that you could have taken right here and made money on a huge 2 weeks bullish trend in the ES, and then you could have made crazy amounts of money on that sell. And then turn around, I'm making money on this moving into the upside on a bullish play. So, it's there's no one way to trade the market. There's no holy grail to it. There's no reason why you shouldn't try and stick to something that you are comfortable with, whether it be ICT concepts, whether it be a moving average crossing strategy, whether it be the VWAP, doesn't matter. Whatever you're confident enough in doing, reading the markets, trading the markets in and out, and just sticking to that plan, eventually you're going to be consistent if you can just stick to it and be disciplined enough and patient enough. Earlier I could have made $100 and the market come back down, re-enter, and could have made another $100 or whatever. So what? I managed to trade out into a positive that I thought was going to go lower. I got back in, and now I'm taking a trade that it looks like it's coming back on me a little bit, but where I made decent profits out of it, right? So Look at how that just immediate turnaround from. And this is the reason why I don't necessarily play these. These are just places where I see price moving. So I know that this mean threshold is on a 10-minute chart, right? This mean threshold is on a 15-minute chart. I could probably write it out in the text and create all this for it, but I don't really have to. So I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this one, and I may go ahead and get rid of that one. So now I've got these two mean thresholds in which price is right now playing around in between. And if price breaks through this mean threshold, I'll move my stop up to just below the bottom of this candle and continue on there. This candle could come back down. We're only halfway through it. So this candle could easily come all the way back down into my stop. I'd like to see it make a higher high. I'm not gonna lie. Clearly, I'm a little biased. This is a long trade too. So we've been in it for what, 30 minutes? Got in it just after the news. So about 30 minutes on this trade so far. See what the 5-minute chart's doing. Ooh. Usually I could see this wick filling. Right. I could see price working its way all the way back down to the bottom of that wick and maybe even a little bit below it. This is going to be the area in which I want it to hold. And I'm not going to move my stop up to it because look at it wick through there. Look at it wick through. Well, that's not a mean threshold, but look how it wicked through that mean threshold, wick through that mean threshold. I want to give it room, and I'm satisfied with the trade, right? I can't lose on the trade. I made money on the trade. In fact, I guess I will move it to about right there. Give it a little bit of room because this mean threshold is situated at 40, I mean at 81. So I can give it a good point and a half, one in a tick room if it comes down here. So I like that. But yeah, I'm perfectly comfortable watching price come down into this wick and then hopefully continue up higher. Because the market doesn't move in one direction and then one direction and then one direction. It just doesn't do that. So you've got to be willing to see the push, hold through a pullback, even though look at all that profit that's been taken away, hold through a pullback, and then hope for, another push. So right now that 15-minute mean threshold is definitely holding. So, and prices come down and hit that mean threshold. As you can see, it went through about a tick. So if I had had my stop on it, we'd already be out of this trade. And you're only looking at a difference in $10. All right. Well, there we go. Let's see if we get out. There we go. All right. We're completely out of that trade. And I gave back, 7 points. Gave back quite a bit on that. I really just wanted to see it continue higher. and we still might continue higher. So my entry was about a 78.25. Still a good trade, still an okay trade. I'm not upset with it. I mean, look, this is definitely some high resistance, action. How easily it's smooth it went down. How hard it is to get back up to these areas. So, not unsatisfied with that trade. It is Friday. We had a little bit of news. Maybe I had my stop. If I had to move my stop up to where I did, look at that. We'd still be in the trade. I don't think I'm going to jump back in right now, though. One minute chart looks a little bearish. Although, look at us holding that line. I should have just gave it a little more room, I guess. Yeah, I had it right here was my stop, and it went all the way down to 25, so 2 extra ticks. Hmm. Got this trend line, and trend lines are, let me use a beautiful word. Trend lines are organic. Okay, they can move. They evolve. Trend lines definitely evolve. So this is a very good trend line, and price could easily dig down into that. So this actually could be a nice little place to short. And I know I'm going back and forth and stuff, but again, that's the beauty of the market. This is a nice trend line. I bet if we put the moving averages on there, we're definitely on top of each other again, looking to cross. Yeah. If we get a close below this trend line and across the moving averages, let's just say we get this candle here, and then we get a pullback into that 21, which is the red. I would definitely consider going short and then having my target the daily price line. Let's see if we can't do that. The first thing, it has to close below this trend line. So this is what is known as the the coach's strategy. I used to use this in Forex on the hourly chart, but I mean it can work on just about any chart. So let's see. We're getting a close below that trend line. Looks like we're coming down for liquidity, and we're getting a cross. This is pretty nice. Let's see. Yeah, there we go. Nice little push. Let's see if we can't get a little pullback into moving average. Or it's just going to dump. I never take it down here. I always want to take it on the pullback, because if I used to be a breakout trader, and I took a lot of losses in breakouts, where I would take it to close of that candle, and then the price would just come back into the moving average before continuing down. Here, obviously, there was a good continuation, but this is a pretty good move beyond the moving averages. So that short idea is probably not going to come to fruition. NQ back down to its daily price line. We did. Look at that. It's just a nice, beautiful straight line, getting a good cross right here. Watch the NQ give us the setup we really want. There's the push back. Let's go back up here. So I would not want to see this candle come up and completely engulf this one. I would just want to see a close here and then another close, and then possibly a third candle, and then the push down. We do have structure here from this wick over that you can look at as kind of an entry, which also coincides with that structure. We also now have a break of these two structures with a fair value gap. So, I mean, I do like to see price come all the way down and break through the daily price line. We've already done that on the NQ, I do believe, or we're right at it on the NQ. Let's see. Yeah, we're right at it. We've touched it. What about the Dow? Ooh, look at that. Look at that push down. Whew. Dow trying to make lows. I can see that. I do not want to really go bullish from this area, and I got to take the moving averages off because they're going to cause me to be a little biased on that idea. I kind of know where they're at without having them on my chart. So we're getting a little bit of good consolidation here. I'd like to see another little pop up, maybe into that structure at 78, maybe go short there, and then overall target be 68, 68.50 area, and maybe a partial at around the 72. I mean, that'd be 6 points. It's a pretty good move. But I want to see a little bit more upside to this candle right here. I don't want to see it dumping. Go ahead and put this back up here, maybe for a quick entry. And I don't really care for this fair value gap so low. Got a little one right here, which is right at that structure. So this is the area in which I want to get in, 78, 78.50. Yeah. We might not get it. Oh, I want to FOMO in. I'm not going to. Might be done. Might be done for the day. Because this is definitely, reversal looking where we're going to take out lows. And yeah. Looks very similar to this setup right here, right? As much as I want to. Only because I have a high belief that we're coming down here, and that's still a really good move. It's 5, 6, 8 points between here and there. And that's a pretty good push back up into here, 75. Yeah, that'd have been a great move. There we go. And look at what it held. I mean, support and resistance and structure. Look how many times this was a support, turn resistance, turn support, turn resistance. Like support and resistance still means a whole lot. It does. And if you can read charts, read candlesticks, read price action, no matter how you understand it, and I'm not gonna lie, I thought I understood candlesticks and charts. And then I really got into the ICT concepts and really studied how he read charts. And I think because I had a really strong foundation in just support and resistance in general, and different levels and trend lines, and I was able to understand that and take that and incorporate it pretty quickly into my trading. And it's not necessarily that I'm looking at fair value gaps and mean thresholds. And when I do look at order blocks and mean thresholds, I like those, but they are always situated at support and resistance areas. And because of that, that's how I'm able to understand the charts a little bit better. So it's not that I am trading 100% ICT concepts, but I do incorporate that philosophy. I really like this. We dumped down, took out some stops. This could be another buy, even though I know I'm like, they were coming down here. It's just the way the candlesticks are setting up. And I like this area if we're able to pop above it and get something down here that I'm perfectly willing to take a buy here. I'll switch that over to blue. In fact, if we come back down here right now, I'd go ahead and jump in because I really like it. Let's see, 74. My stop would, yeah. Wait till the end of this candle. I'm going to try and wait till the end of this candle. I really like this area. Hold off just another few seconds. I'm going to go ahead and take it. And then I'm going to move my stop to right in here, minimize some loss just in case I'm jumping in a little bit too soon. I like to see this candle go ahead and rip. The timing of this trade right here is probably a little early. Probably should have let this situate a little bit further and then get a pop. But again, I think this candle is going to come up here and take liquidity. So we get that. I want something quick and easy. We've taken 2 wins on the day. So 1-to-1 would be okay with me. See if we can't get back up to this structure. This is basically going to be a break even on the day if I take a stop here. We had this consolidation, these 4 candles, right? We come down here, we pull back up. This candle stayed in this range. This candle stayed here. This candle basically opened and closed in that range. And then these 3 candles kind of broke down and immediately rejected to the upside. So I'm looking for a continuation of a nice, good, solid green candle that moves off of this structure. Something like this area right here, the way this looks, that's what I would be looking for. Again, something like this. Got a good rejection. I don't mind a little pullback and then move, right? There we go. A little bit of a movement here. And this is exactly the way I traded the ES in getting the evaluation account. So I'm not doing anything really different than what I traded. I'm just using a different instrument. There you go. Back up here to the structure. Oh, nice breakthrough. Let's see if we can't keep it going, though. Minimize risk. I'm going to bring it all the way up here because I don't think it should come back down. If we come back down here, we're going all the way down to the daily price line. That's a good move right there. And I'm going to take it right here. This structure is 78. That'd be 4 points. Let's go ahead and take it down here. Nope. Sorry. 78 is where I want to get to. That rejection of that area right there, that's not a good rejection. See if the last 10 seconds of this candle can go back green and get above this area in this structure. Really thought that was going to continue higher above that structure. Yeah, that's not a good close. This is only going to be a 1-point loss. So 1-point loss is only going to be about $30, $25. Yeah, that sucks. That rejection candle right there is not what you wanted to see on that move. I'm gonna let it play out though. I'm still gonna be green on the day with where this my stop is right now. Small green, but a good start. This needs to continue on this candle or it's not going to. Let's go to the 2-minute chart. Like it. 3-minute chart. I'm okay with it. Big fair value gap right there, situated at this area. So, but again, look at that structure, holding it down. Trying to be as patient as I can with it. I just want 4 points. It's crazy. I've been able to easily get 2 and 3 points out of these things, and but it's 3-minute candles coming down to the end, and we rejected that structure. That looks very eerily similar to the 1-minute chart right here. See what we can get here. Need a nice push. So I like the move that it's making here. In fact, I like it so much, I'm going to move my target up, and then I'm going to get out 3 points at this structure. Try and take partials here. Oh, man. Come on. Just don't want to get above that. What's the NQ doing? I'm going to move my stop up to above break even. That way this is going to be a non-losing trade period, and I hang on to everything I made earlier. Okay, here we go. One more tick, and I was going to click the button. Go. There we go. All right, we're out 3 there. I got to modify this quickly. In fact, I think I'm just going to cut it. It's over $100 on that trade. I'm going to put it right there for these last 2. I'm going to get super greedy with this. I'm going to pull it all the way up here to the highs. Actually, yeah, it's right in there. We might take one more off as we get up there. See if we can't manage this out. This has been a long stream. We get right here. This is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull this down to 85. Let's go to 85. But I'm gonna take another one off at 81 right here. Five-minute chart. Looks pretty solid. We're getting into the 10 o'clock hour, and this is the hour in which a lot of people, especially those that really do follow ICT and its strategies, are going to be looking for that 10 to 11 silver bullet setup. And maybe we were already early, so maybe the silver bullet setup is going to be right here. Don't know though. It looks like we're just going to range. And let's see. We go body here, body's there. Make that a solid line because it's a trend line for me. I mean, that would definitely be where I would love to see it get to. Mm, yeah. I'm gonna respect it. It is what it is. 30 seconds left on this candle on a 3 minute. Look at the one. Yeah. Pretty healthy pullback right in there. See if we can't hold that. I do feel like my stop might be a little bit too close, but I'm not going to move it. I also feel like if the price comes back down and stops me out, that there's probably one more buy in this move. All right, we're out of that. Still making positive gains. Perfectly okay with it. Man. All right, I think I'm going to call it right there. Decent little day. Some positives to the account, so that's good. And we will see you next week. Thanks for being here.